Baby dolls, straighten your back, keep your fluffy slippers on. Today, we're going to look through 2023. What a crazy year it's been. I'm going to give you the quick summary right now. I'll tell it to your face. It was exactly how the 4-year cycle said it would go. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. Nothing. The whole thing, from start to finish. Let's have a look. This is what this whole year was about. Isn't it wild? The whole time, friends. We started off the year on the back of the FTX Soy Bankman-Fried crumble. If I show you the weekly chart as well, you can go back. We were down here and I was making Twitteroony videos saying, look, I don't know what the future holds, but David Hoffman from Bankless is crying right now. He's hopeless. He literally says there's no hope for the industry. Kobe says this industry, no hope. People are crying. It was over. There was a dude who went on Joe Rogan's show who said Bitcoin's going to negative numbers, literally negative. And I was like, all right, that's it. I've had enough. It's time to go all in. I mean, that negative number one, I remember that when that came out. I was like, okay, that's a sign from God. All right, now you guys are being stupid. Negative numbers, really? Really? You know, so this is the type of things we're dealing with. And as it happened, we just sat here forever. And I remember teaching everyone, not that anybody was around here to listen, I was saying, well, you can't wait for the good news. So friends, as I retell you this story, I'm not here to it's not for bragging or trophy or anything. I'm just to show you there is a repeating pattern. Okay, there is some chaos here. There's a method to the madness. We are following human emotional cycles. Why? It's because we are onboarding more people into crypto than currently exist. In the stock market, everybody in the world's already in. It's Ponzi money floating around. Crypto is different. Why? We're still younger. We're still relatively early, okay? So when we moved in to the bear market and we started rising out, people were in disbelief. And very important lesson. I said to people, once again, you're going to learn this the hard way or the easy way. Watch my videos. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Finish show. Shock the algorithm. I was very, very descriptive saying the price will move first. You cannot wait for macro to turn around. You can't wait for the Fed to give you the okay sign. You can't wait for things to turn around and look good. You have to get in when it looks bad. And, you know, obviously I did not get upset at anybody who refused to get in because, I mean, I know how hard it is, man. I felt it too. Just because I'm here every day and I know what I'm doing, I still feel the emotions. It's just that in the last second, I don't click sell. Other people do. I click buy or I continue to hold. And I hope you do too. That's what you've learned from this lesson. So as the market started to turn up in the year, we saw something which fulfilled one of my prophecies. So to recap, I noticed the pattern. No one else in crypto was even around. Everybody had freaking ran off with all our money and dumped on us. I noticed that in each cycle, the participants, the degens, us with our Pokemon bucket hats, we were buying altcoins earlier and earlier. We were getting a fever for altcoins and high value growth tech, which is just, you know, it's another word for Ponzi scams. Okay, high value growth tech. Who are we kidding, right? We were buying them earlier in the cycle. So this was a big epiphany that I had. And I can show it to you on this chart here. If we go back to the monthly, and I've gone through this a lot of times, my friends, I'm telling you, this is so fascinating to see the market. We're reading it because it's getting smarter. So alt season was just at the very, very end in cycle 1. Alt season began 6 months prior to that, in the end of it, in cycle 2. And then we had alt season around this was the DeFi era, around the Bitcoin halvening again. So in each cycle, it was starting a bit earlier. And then I speculated, guessed. I said, well, I reckon, remember, we were down here, friends, by the way, we were literally dead. Okay, I'm going to go back to that chart just to show you. We were literally freaking dead. We were literally down here. See that? Bang. And I said, I think as soon as Bitcoin starts moving up, people are going to come and get hungry for altcoins. And they did. We saw that. What was the first one to come? You saw it. It was Pepe, right? We came up here. Bang. Pepe came up here. This was literally Pepe season. Pepe did 340,000x. Meme coins came around. Now, this is the thing. Just because I knew it doesn't mean I was able to make money. Because I got to see in the limited pool of people that were in, Everyone was shilling to their audience and just dumping on them. So I'm just here, I was observing. I'm like, oh man, there's too many meme coins. There's too much trash. And look, I guess I could have made some profit. The problem is I was not fast enough to adapt to how absolutely scammy and disappointing these things were. What do I mean by that? Well, in 2021, a short life cycle for a meme coin was 1 to 2 months. That was short. To my shock, in this peppy season, which is March, April this year, 2023, sorry, in that peppy season, this pop up, right? Instead of 1 to 2 months, the meme coins were going 1 to 2 days. Some of them went for like 4 or 5 days, 1 to 2 days. I couldn't believe it. By the time I figured it out, it was over. So throwing bullets here and there got wrecked. But we kept trying, man, the lottery tickets. And I'm like, man, I can't get up for this 5x because, man, like there's all these scams out there. Your win rate's like 5%. You need to be compensated for it. Doesn't matter. The market ended up breaking everybody. All the coins wrecked. So as we move on throughout the year, something special happened again, right? Here's the corrupt SEC sending us to zero. And then the Rocco Negra filed for the ETF. This was a scam dump. We don't know what this was. And it's just price action. And here we are off to the races. So the beautiful part is what we're blessed to see is, doesn't matter, you know, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Or don't care about being right. Don't care, oh, great, I was able to predict the altcoins coming in earlier. It doesn't matter because it shocked me. Like, oh, wow, they came straight for the meme coins. But now we're learning. Now this is our first signal. So we didn't miss out much. The real season starts in the Bitcoin halvening year. So as we go through, we look at the whole year. Notice also, I didn't even talk about the Fed. You know, when we were down here, I made videos, friends. I said, we might find that the Fed will hold rates, we go up only, and then when they cut rates, we have some sort of capitulation, jittery stuff. Just to show you that it's all on track. The whole point, I said, look, if we got some sort of euphoria run in all our altcoins, sure, we'd exit some, but you're not guaranteed that your altcoin will be euphoric. And it's exactly what happened. Chainlink, one of the things we own, yeah, went, what, $15? It's not euphoric at all. We need literally maybe $30. Maybe it gets there in the next few months, who knows? But this should give you an idea. So many altcoins, other altcoins as well. So only Solana pretty much went euphoric, and people in holding it don't even think, they just think it's getting started, right? So even I could be wrong there. So having the idea, it's one thing. Being in the right coin, totally different. That now makes it double hard. So I could read what was going on, but getting the right coins, tough. I watched some other influencers as well. They were able to read the year right. Guess what? They're still holding layer 1 trash from like literally 2017. They're holding stuff like XRP or they're all in Cardano. You know what I mean? Like they didn't move, man. They didn't move. It was the mind of the market. The degens went to on-chain stuff. So on one hand, of course, yeah, pat our back. We get a reading on the market. Who cares? But on the other hand, we weren't the ones who were able to like write all the narratives. And no one really did, okay? People were able to identify things. You saw like the Harry Potter Obama guys, different cults coming in. I shared many stories. Yeah, but for every one story, there's like 100 people wrecked. All right, so the beautiful part is, yes, we're able to read the year. We're able to say, hey, it's hope and disbelief being rinsed. Remember, hope, disbelief, hope, disbelief, hope, disbelief, hope. Maybe going to get another one coming. Rinsing over and over and over again. And I believed January 2023, I go, we'll probably look back at the end of the year. I literally said this word for word, go back to my videos. I said, hey, we probably just find that we finished the year up, but it doesn't feel up. It's just like something like that, you know? And that's exactly what happened, right? It brings us to where we are today. So the 4-year cycle still on track. How are we even able to put this? So if you're new, if you're from stocks world or real estate or any of these other non-crypto sectors, you might be very confused. They're like, wait a minute. How are we able to know that? Trust me, when I came into crypto, same questions. I was like, how the hell did you know it was going to do that? I've never seen anything like that. I came from bonds and interest rates and all these magical fractals. That's it. It's the 4-year cycle, which is fascinating because now me, the dude with a straight back and a Pokemon bucket hat, is telling you I'm still skeptical of the 4-year cycle. It's just so happening that the stock market recovered us this year. This is very controversial in crypto, by the way, very controversial. Half the camp of people, well, majority of the camp of people believe it's the Bitcoin halvening, which when you cut the inflation, there's less dump pressure, and that's what sends Bitcoin to the moon. The rest of us have actually done the research and kind of figured it out. We believe it's more to do with the stock market, because 3 out of 3 times the stock market was booming in new highs. Where are we now? Well, stock market had a complacency pump, right? But we don't know it's a complacency pump. That's my bias, just saying, hey, it feels like it's at a new high. Screaming, that's good. Lifts us the market. So where does that bring us to today? So moving forward, we're able to see, okay, pre-Bitcoin halving year, we recovered. Don't worry, you don't need to feel FOMO. We haven't missed out on anything, because you could still make life-changing altcoin gains in crypto if you had nothing to do with crypto and you arrived in the Bitcoin halving year in 2020. You know that, right? Zombie virus, bang. Even if the zombie virus never happened, if you just participated in that year, it was juicy. Now, we don't know how 2025 is going to go, but I'll tell you now, if the 4-year cycle gets cut off early, you're going to be thanking your lucky stars. You paid attention early. You paid attention at the beginning. So part of our portfolios, right? We have 90% core altcoins. You might have Bitcoin in there. You might have Ethereum. Okay, I like Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex. Deep Value, Contrarian, 140 content creators, 178 plus projects. There's Chainlink, Big Mac, DeFi. However, Chainlink popped up to $15. So that's something you're not going to hear from me. I'm not going to keep telling you, buy over lifetime, buy over lifetime. I'll draw the targets and I'll show stuff. I'm like, guys, like I can't really tell you. I'm not that excited anymore. The prices are high. They're going towards, they're closer to my sell targets. They're not at the sell targets, but like if Chainlink is at $30, I'll be cheering. But I'm like, look, okay, if you get in now, what are you going to do? You got to sell at $90, maybe. You're going to sell for a triple. So I get less motivated for you because I care about you. Obviously, I get excited because the bags are mooning, but who cares, right? You want to act, right? You want to feel like you want to act. So I like cheap prices because you can actually act on them. Whereas if things are in the middle, you can't do anything. You're literally just at the mercy of the hope and disbelief printing. Okay, so that's what we're hoping, right? We move into throughout 2024. So you're seeing all this value of these coins. Everybody has their own guess where they think the narrative is going to go. One common theme in every single cycle is Bitcoin halving year. Bitcoin halving year, for some reason, I don't know why, just the year, that's it. Bitcoin halving year, people are like, I want altcoins, Ethereum, things mooning. I don't know why. It is what it is. Funny, also true. In 2020, you didn't even need to last until 2021. You could have retired of 2020 alone from the DeFi season. We saw Hex pump. We saw all the DeFi coins go up. We saw Chainlink up only. We saw Uni get launched, the airdrops. It was like 3 months of mania. Are we going to get something this year? 3 months of mania? I hope so. But we need a new technology to be invented. We can't fluke it. You can't say, oh, we're upgrading DEXs. No. So 2020 was birthed because Uni really took off. Uniswap. You could swap any asset to any asset. And DeFi, you had Compound, which is handing out its own inflationary dump token. And everybody went wild with it. Ponzi's everywhere. But you could have retired just off that year. I came in late. Many people came in late because we didn't even know what altcoins on-chain were. No one knew. That was like a first eye-opener. So maybe it happens this year. We don't know. But that's why you got to take it seriously. And what I mean by, okay, like when I say you could have retired, sure, a lot of coins did like, 5, 10, 15x. But you had to rotate them into either Bitcoin or Ethereum. If you picked Ethereum, you really binked it. So maybe this year, it's the same, okay? But if you're even in a better spot, you'll get to rotate into your strong core altcoins. And, for example, let's say you had lottery ticket allocation. You made a 10x or a 20x somewhere. I mean, I'm praying, friends. I know there's just a lot of coins. This is what it was like back then. This wasn't as much competition. Now it's just aggressive. Maybe you get 10x on somewhere. You go, hey, I'm just going to rotate that. That's going to add to Pulse. That's it. Or I'm going to rotate somewhere. I'm going to add it to Ethereum. You can't go wrong with Bitcoin, but you got to accept that your gains are less. So for example, this is why this year is huge, friends, because the people who binked it in the last cycle, they had already retired by the time February hit of 2021. So the season barely started. These people had basically retired. So where is February here? Okay, they didn't even need the bull market. So Who was it that killed it there, friends? It was Ethereum Maxis. Why? Ethereum Maxis, and put on a log chart for you. Ethereum Maxis, DeFi season was here. You see here, this was DeFi season. So this was actually the mania. So what they were doing is, see up here, they were converting, right? Seeing these profits here at the top red candles? Let's say Ethereum's price around $400. They were converting their profits from the DeFi scam altcoins into ETH. So if they made like a 10x somewhere, let's say they put, I don't know, like let's say you put $1,000 somewhere and actually became 10K. They would then use that to rotate into ETH, and then ETH did a 10x. So that's actually how people retired. They made 100x's like that. And not just like one or two people. Yes, many people did it. A lot of scammers, a lot of grifters, a lot of influencers. They'll join all these channels. People who might be respected members today. I heard a lot of rumors, just people were absolutely dumping on everyone. It's very sad, but they were first, right? They believed in DeFi, and then they unfortunately dumped on everyone for ETH. It's very, very nasty, but that's how they won. They made, you know, I know 100x sounds insane, but that's how they did it. They bunny hopped to 100x. So, you know, they put 1 ETH into a project, and then it gave them 10 ETH, right? And then remember, ETH was $400. They deploy 1 ETH to a project, it got them back 10x. They'll dump it. Now they got 10 ETH back, and they just left it to the bull run, and the ETH went to 4,000 each. So they're turning literally $400 into 40K, and they weren't doing it just like with little bit. They were doing it everywhere. So maybe we don't get such a big bunny hop move this year. Maybe instead of 100x, like maybe it might be a blessing just to be a 20x. 20 is still a lot. So how might you get a 20x? Well, maybe we find, just guessing, okay, maybe you find opportunities this year. You get to deploy 1 ETH. Okay, I know 1 ETH is a lot of money for a lot of people. Let's say some people out there, you deploy 1 ETH, and it doesn't even matter the amount, and you make like a 6 or a 7x. You get lucky. Maybe there's some sort of season. Remember, there's like a DeFi, there's like a narrative going on. You make like a 6 or 7x, and when you rotate it back into ETH, ETH is 3K now. So you might hold that ETH until it's like 8 or 9,000. So you've made like a 6 or a 7x, and then you're going to get another 3x from the Ethereum appreciation if it gets there. Now you're roughly around the 20. So that's one way people could like turn, you know, 5 grand into 100K, 50K into $1 million. That's one opportunity that we might see play out. But of course, it's not good enough just to think like this. This is what happened in 2020. It's also obviously what happened in 2016. The problem is Ethereum wasn't around there. But if you rotate it to Bitcoin, you killed it. You did very well. So that was the game, right? The game is stacking Bitcoin and Ethereum. You don't have to choose, right? You might also consider, if you really believe in a strong core altcoin or a group, just skip Bitcoin and Ethereum, or you might go heavier into, you know, for example, Pulse or Chainlink, whatever it is, if they're going to outperform them. Or you can do a piece of each. You might say, hey, I'm going to do a third stable coins because you're just scared, a third Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then a third just strong core altcoin. That way you can't lose. You literally can't, no matter what happens. If it goes up, down, left, right, you have money to deploy if there's a big dip, etc., etc. So I'll never forget that. I came in at the end. Many people came at the end. Everybody got wrecked. I told you many stories. I was buying altcoins minus 70% from the top, thinking I was getting a good deal, not knowing all the scum influencers, they were still 20x on side from their ICOs that they never told anybody about. Right? So for example, I remember buying all these just trash coins. They would hit $1, come back to 30 cents. I think I'm getting a good deal because I'm like, oh wow, it's $1, it's 30 cents now. Not knowing the ICO was 1 cent. And all the scum influencers are dumping on us. Okay, there are many, many, many examples like that. Heaps of examples. I mean, look around you. Everybody got destroyed in 2020 doing that. So now we're actually early. And we're praying that we're on the right side now. Right, we're long, we're strong. That's why I'm participating in ICOs, IDOs. If you get the opportunity this year to rotate profits, you've at least given you some sort of blueprint. This is how people killed it before. That's why nobody's talking about that. What people are just talking about is they go, well, you hold a couple of altcoins and they just go up in a straight line. If only, friends. If only it was that simple. So if your coin ends up going euphoric, you got an option now. You know, rotate to Bitcoin, Ethereum. If it doesn't, well, you might be finding yourself in a position where you've got to keep adding to that bag the whole year and hope that it pops up in 2025 in that final gasp of euphoria. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button all. Don't forget to tell mum and dad you love them. Catch you soon.